Welcome to the Senior View. And tonight we have a topic which I think that you'll be very interested in hearing, because this may be something that you would like to do, becoming a volunteer. But first of all, I'd like to introduce our guest, but a very special person who is our new volunteer coordinator, and her name is Susan Stewart. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Mary.
And I think the wonderful things I've heard about you, Susan, that you are just fitting right in, and they just love you so much.
Good. I am really enjoying it.
Wonderful, wonderful. I was so pleased when they hired you. So
Right.
welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Now I know, of course, you know Pat Baratta. He's been on several shows, and Carol Walsh. Now Pat and Carol are volunteers, and I'm just going to put some questions out to you, okay? Which may make you think. I am new in town, want to become involved. I have just retired, and I need to get out and do something. I miss being with people. I just want to become a part of this great senior community. I gather I would call Susan for an appointment. What happens if I am shy? I have never done this before. How would I be trained? Would I work and be with someone who has been there for a while? Well, Pat and Carol and Susan. Susan, what kind of training do we have?
Training at the job for a position at the senior center.
Mm-hmm.
I would work alongside that person.
Great.
And also they'd be working alongside a seasoned volunteer,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
depending on the position, at the center.
Okay.
So they're never left alone, just to, find their way.
That's wonderful. And I just want them to know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I serve on Thursdays,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm generally the trainer usually on Thursday if somebody comes in. So, as
Yeah.
Susan said, nobody's ever left alone.
Right.
Usually on Thursdays, Thursday's a very busy day at the Senior Center. So we could have up to 40 or 50 people. We would have generally 3 servers plus any new person, which I would train.
Right.
I do not make them follow me around. Most of them know a little about what's going on, so I stand behind them, let them take the orders. I always introduce them to everybody at the table and saying they're a trainee,
Mm-hmm.
no rushing, you're not going anywhere, and that generally all the lunch people are fantastic with the new
Yes.
Now he's
training.
talking about the cafeteria.
Oh, I'm
he's
sorry,
talking
it's the
about
senior lunch.
Yep, the
Yes.
senior
Senior
lunch
lunch.
dining room. Yeah.
Right. Now there are 2 time periods for lunch, right?
11:30 and 12 o'clock.
I see.
And
Now
we
are
seat
they
generally
the
42.
same volunteers from?
Yes, we work generally from setup from 10:30 to cleanup is usually between 1 and 1:30. So 10, 11,
Okay.
12, 1, about 3 hours.
I see.
Tops.
I see.
Sometimes it's 2, 2.5.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, in answer to your question, if it's the same people, every day we have a staff of 3, or volunteers of 3 in the dining room.
I see. Okay.
So,
okay.
like Pat says, this was his day,
I see. I
and
see.
then he came here.
Also, we do, aside from the seniors who volunteer, which are numerous, we also have a lot of the students during the summer, and they are fantastic.
I bet
you're
they
just
are.
with
That's
them
a
one
huge
day,
help.
and that's
And what a
it.
nice relationship.
And
Absolutely.
they're so pleasant. It's fun to
Yes.
have younger people come in
Yes.
like that during
Yes.
the summer.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
all the seniors at lunch love the kids,
They
and the
do.
kids love them. It's
And
really
they're
great.
wonderful. They're wonderful.
Great
I
relationship.
See. I see.
Yeah.
Now, Carol, what do you do for volunteer work there?
Well, I set
You
up,
must have a long list.
I set up the library. When I retired from our public library, I set up the library at the Senior Center, and I maintain that. And I have Russ Ellsworth and his wife, Mary Lou, come and help on certain days. And when I have a book sale or something, there are quite a few different people that will come forward and just offer to help with that. We do share our library with the pool players, which has created a little difference in the way we handle things, but it's all good. And we have a tremendous number of books that come in. I wish I could display more because the readers are really looking for them, and their space is limited as to what we had now. But we have book sales ongoing, and they're very successful. But I anyway, I'm always looking for newer books, and I need to post things where people will say to me, Carol, has such and such come in, or do you have such and such by so-and-so? Well, this isn't like the public library. I can't, we don't have it cataloged and so forth. But we do it as best we can. And I, every so often I will post notes and say, ask what you want, and then I'll look for them. But we're going to be, in the future, apparently moving the library from where it is now up to the lounge.
I see.
But that won't happen right away. And then we'll just have a little space to ourselves. But there's plenty of material there, and people do use it, and by all means come more and more.
You also volunteer at the front desk.
I was just going
I
to say,
do.
Carol also
Yes,
volunteers.
that's what I was going to say too.
Yes, I do at the front desk, and that's on Tuesdays. Mondays is library, and then Wednesday or Thursday is library, and Tuesdays I'm at the front desk.
And Carol and I are both,
Then we have
both volunteered for the Council on Aging, which is really the senior center, the board.
Right.
I'm the chairperson, and Carol is the VP. And we meet once a month and discuss everything with the staff. So we're also involved there.
We are.
Now, I would think a volunteer coming on, let's say if they did want the front desk, they would be well trained. They wouldn't be alone.
Nope.
Because there's two of you at the desk, right? And
In the morning.
And what is your responsibility at the front desk? I know answering phones, and people come up
Taking
and
messages,
taking
answering
messages.
phones,
Right.
greeting people if they're not greeters there, greeting them and acclimating them to where they need to go for what they're there for. You get trained specifically for those jobs by Judy Alessio.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're responsible for signing people up for classes and
Trips.
trips, taking phone messages and calling out to different people to give them information. It's a very busy place. It has parts of the day that it's extremely busy, and then it gets quiet. So if it's quiet, you can do some other housework sort of things, tidy things up.
You
But
know,
it's a busy spot.
I would think a good place for somebody to start, if they're new in town or would like to start slowly, would be to be a greeter.
I think a greeter is a wonderful thing because so many people coming in, they just come in, if we're busy at the desk or if they're not looking toward the desk and they just come in, that gives them someone to, right away, the person says good morning and whatever, and shows them not everybody realizes we'd like them to come in and scan their name in. And then if they need directions as to where they're going, they can at least do that. Or if they want a little tour around, the greeters are very good at doing something like that. And greeters necessarily are people who like people, so that's always a good thing. You wouldn't be there if you didn't.
Yep, we're in need of
like them.
greeters.
So, and we don't have enough. That's a place where we could definitely like to get some more people on hand.
So I realize that there are more new programs, which means the need of new volunteers, and more volunteers are needed because of the increase in activity. I can see why the need is great.
Well, they've been trying to set up a book club for quite a while. They're looking for a volunteer coordinator there.
Yes,
The walking club, I think, was looking for a volunteer coordinator. And there was one other program they wanted to start. There are so many different positions available for volunteering for any different personality. If a person's shy, they can do something behind the scenes. I'm very familiar with the dining rooms. So in the dining room, you could be a server, you could work in the kitchen, what we call the prep cook. The chef does what he does, you help the chef, but you would make sandwiches and salads and things like that. We also, Susan's new, so we haven't had one yet, but Carol and I are also on the Volunteer Advisory Committee. We have a committee of people who are familiar with various aspects of the thrift club, the library, the dining room. I forgot what the other one, Punky was one. And we get together maybe quarterly and discuss any issues we may have, what's going on in the dining room. Do we have to update this? Do we have to change this? Things like that.
Yeah, things that come out as little problems or whatever, that's the time
Oh,
to
sure.
resolve them and see how you can get
The
some
thrift
help.
shop is a
Thrift
fun
shop.
job. Because you
Yes.
get to meet a lot of
Oh,
people.
I'm a
People-
volunteer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and people love,
Yes,
people
come
love
to the
that.
gift shop.
Right, right.
I'm there on Thursday mornings if you'd like to come and visit and chat with me about volunteering there. It'd be wonderful.
Well, someone like Jack McInerney has just started again. He ongoing is having his Monday movie. It's a nice thing, and he pushed the time up so that people didn't go home and then not come back right after lunch on Mondays. Now he'll be
There's the
showing
movie.
his movie again, and he makes the popcorn, and you go and sit in the lounge and watch a movie. It's a very nice thing that he does, and that's well appreciated. So there are so many. I think somebody could come in and say to us, "I have a talent for such and such,"
That's
or whatever,
right.
and you know, bring in a new talent. We
That's
we
right.
would love that. And I'm
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see a group of women who like to sew and make little dolls or, you know, creative little gift items for the gift shop. And to have volunteers come in and maybe once a week meet, and the supplies would be purchased for them, and they could make all these new items. You know, Barbara Cerruti, you know the wonderful
She
work
does-
that
she
she
does wonderful
does.
work, yes.
And for every season, every holiday, Christmas, Easter.
right.
And this is what we need. And I would like to see volunteers come together as a group and to form this craft group. And you know, so if somebody likes to do this,
Right.
don't do it at home. Come on into the
Right.
senior
Everybody has a
center.
special skill,
They do.
you know,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
need to bring that.
Yes,
And then you can learn a new skill along the way. You never know.
that's
They have
right.
the knitting group.
They do have a knitting
Oh,
group.
yeah.
They have the quilting group.
And look what the knitting group did. They were at Poly Arts,
Yeah.
and they sold so many of the things that they made, and then whatever was left over was donated to Project Just Because.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And we have pottery.
Oh,
we have painting.
yes.
We have
Yeah.
quilting.
The knitting group also does projects like
For hospitals
Framingham,
and for
not
babies,
Framingham,
for the babies' room.
Milford Regional was looking
Yeah.
for blankets
Yeah.
for
Yes.
terminally ill people for
Right.
knitting. They also made the little caps for newborns. They knit that. So they do, you know, it's a pleasure to knit, but it's all volunteering
It
for a
is.
particular cause. They do a lot for Project
They
Just
do a
Because.
lot, yeah. And we have several different people that help in the computer room.
Yeah, we have
You
a
can go
computer
in
lab.
and learn. You
Yep.
can
They've
learn
helped me.
skills or perfect skills or whatever.
Yes,
And they're in
yes.
there. I think just about every day someone
Yes.
is in there to help.
That's right, and you can make an appointment, and if you have any questions on the computer or how to get your videos onto the computer and share them and put them on Facebook and email and whatever, they
Yeah.
do it for you.
Yeah, they're
know.
very good. And if you want to just learn a new aspect of it, they can teach you a new,
That's right.
new way to do something.
That's
And
right.
if you're
So-
really adept in it, you can come and be a volunteer.
That's, I was just going to say that. You
It
read my
works
mind,
well.
Susan.
Right.
You read
Right.
my mind.
And that works
Because we have
well.
a computer lab. Yeah.
Yes.
Another thing they're looking for is someone who likes to, excuse me, the greenhouse.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, if you
yes.
look at the grounds, 80% of the grounds are maintained by volunteers.
Yes.
And it's a shame that that beautiful landscaping is at the back of the building. Because the work they've done around the patio and everything
is
It's exquisite.
phenomenal.
It's
It's just
magnificent right
phenomenal.
now. It is.
That's right. So if you
absolutely
like
beautiful.
to work outside and work with plants, and a wonderful team of people who come together.
Yeah, but
to
there's a
work
beautiful
together.
greenhouse, you know.
Oh, and please
inside.
come up and walk through, you know, and see if this is something you may be interested in. A lot of people, especially seniors, love to work outside. And
They also, it's not only plants, they have plant sales like once or twice a year, but they grow, remember the last, we coincide with the books when we were there.
Yeah.
They do tomatoes, they do cucumbers, they
Right.
do zucchini, they do all the
And they go right into
herbs.
the lunches
They do
there.
everything.
That's
and
right.
a lot of
Right.
the salads and the tomatoes that we serve at the Senior Center are grown in our
right
garden.
there.
oh,
Right.
So if you're, I mean, nothing ethnic about it, but a lot of Italians always has their little tomato garden.
Sure.
And they have to, if you're a gardener, not as far as landscaping goes, there's all type of outdoor positions available.
Oh, the grounds are so beautiful.
They are, absolutely.
And the seniors love it. It's so peaceful and just so restful and just lovely. Just
Even if you're
lovely.
a barbecuer, I don't know if I made up a new word or not, because we have maybe 4 or 5 barbecues a year, and they're always looking for somebody to man the barbecue. I mean, we have a humongous, probably it's bigger than this desk maybe, grill. And they, we usually do hamburgers, hot dogs, and stuff like that. That's something you could do also if you wanted to do it.
I see.
I mean, there's so many different things available.
Well, a group or varying group gets together to put together the Hilltoppers once a month.
Yes.
And that's important. And they
That's a
all,
good way to break in, too.
It is.
That's true.
It's just a big
Other
long
people.
table and everybody
It's a
sits
big
and
long
visits.
table
right.
and just getting to know
That's
each other
right.
there if you didn't already know them.
That's right.
The sociability of being a volunteer is very important. It gets you in there, it gets you to be with people and know new people, maybe some new people. But as seniors, it's important for us to be sociable.
That's right.
Yes.
It's an important part of being sociable in seniors.
That's
it just
right.
goes together. So people shouldn't be lonesome. You hate to think people are lonesome. Come up. You want to say, come up, and we'll find something for you to do. We have a new class starting, I guess it is next month, and it sounds funny, but it's going to be coloring. But you're going to make this is with colored pencils. It's not with crayons. It sounds like children and coloring. But you're going to be using designs. Well, just look at the pattern in here. There are patterns and designs and things, and you color them. You make your own design and frame it, put it on your wall, and look what you've accomplished. I think that should be a very neat thing for people to come and try, and that's going to be Joyce Brousseau.
That's the new
next
craze.
month.
They, of course, a couple of people at the lodge are doing it. They're calling them, they had a special chronicle on it. They have specific, they call them adult coloring books, and
Yes,
they're all
they
with
do.
pencils.
Yes.
And some of the things that they color are unbelievable. To look at it, sometimes it's almost daunting, but then once they finish them, they're absolutely beautiful. Getting back to what Carol said about getting the Hilltopper out, that's a perfect volunteer position for a person who might be a little shy or reticent in coming
Yes.
in. Because
good
I don't know
break-in.
how many people
great
there are around
chance
the
to
table.
break in, you're right.
Yeah, 10, 12
And if you just
probably.
want to sit in the corner and do something and not mingle,
All
fine.
you're doing is
Right.
But
folding the
it's-
Hilltopper.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
Getting
putting
it
the little-
prepared and putting the sticker on
the
it.
stickers on.
Putting the
But
stickers
if you
with
want to
names on
engage
them.
in conversation,
That's
you
right.
can.
There's plenty of
or it's
that.
Have a cup of
perfect way-
coffee.
Yeah.
It's a perfect segue into volunteering in other places.
It
And they
is.
do that
Yeah.
once a month.
And
Once a month.
we need people to call us and let us know that they would like to do something like that.
Right. That's right.
Because that's not on any particular day. That one is.
Right.
Well, I think the best way would be for somebody to call Susan Stewart.
Sure.
Right.
Yes.
And Susan could talk to them and
Yes.
and find out what you're interested
Right.
in. She would guide you.
Yeah.
And
I would suggest coming up to the senior center, and there are applications right at the front desk, or you can ask for me, and we can sit and talk, and multiple ways you can do it. But just come out.
And then they can ask you the questions. that we
Right.
talk about.
It's a marvelous place, just being there 6 weeks or so. I'm just amazed at how it runs on volunteers.
that's the strength of the senior center.
It
the
is absolutely
volunteers,
the
right?
strength. They
Well,
are,
when we
they are
had the
amazing,
volunteer
so dedicated.
Appreciation dinner.
it was filled. The hall was
Yeah.
just filled with
Yeah.
people. Everybody who does something is a volunteer.
Isn't that wonderful?
It
That's
is.
right.
It
really
really
is.
is. And we all love it.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
the atmosphere
that's
is just
that's part of my week
Yeah.
every week.
It's home.
The
It's
atmosphere is
family.
very positive.
It's
It is
coming
like home.
together and being with people.
And telling your friends, some of
Yes.
these ones that say, hey, what do you do with your spare time? And I said, what spare time?
right.
I always
so
have the
true.
same old saying when they ask me, what are you doing? He says, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm always busy doing it.
Always busy.
Of course, I mean, today from 9 o'clock this morning to now, I've been running around doing different things.
This is his
Today's my
busiest
day for
day.
the senior center.
Yes.
But you're just constantly busy.
And when we have book sales, Pat's right there at our book sales helping. We help each other, hopefully.
That's right.
As well as
That's right.
having
I love volunteering. I just
I do
get
too.
so much out of it. The
I do
people are
too.
wonderful. And it's amazing the backgrounds on some of these people. I mean, I
Yes.
think I shared this, I don't remember which show we were on, but one of the fellas at at lunch always used to quiz me every week about certain things. And once he said, "We're having tapioca for lunch." He says, "Do you know tapioca is a poisonous plant, that they just use the seed?" He says, "Look it up on Google." So sure enough, I looked up on Google and said, "Tapioca, a poisonous plant." Next day, next week, I went and talked to him. I says, "You're absolutely right." I says, "You've got this wealth of knowledge. What did you do before you retired?" He said, "I worked on the Manhattan Project."
You
You would
just don't
never
know.
know it.
You just
It was just,
really don't
I was
know.
amazed. I was absolutely amazed.
Yes.
And then so many of the women are college graduates. They were teachers,
Yeah.
librarians. The educational background of the people there is phenomenal. And you would just, as a volunteer, you just get, they're not really acquaintances, they get to be friends.
They really
And
do.
get
You
to
feel that
know
they're friends,
so
yes.
many different things about what's going on. I think it's great. I'm just, Helen says if I volunteer anymore, she wants me to go out and get a paying job. I just love volunteering.
Yes, yes, yes.
Nobody should be leaving a job and having nothing to do.
Exactly.
Come on up.
That's right. That's it. Something for everybody. There's something. I love my
Absolutely.
volunteer work Thursday mornings, and
I look forward to it.
I do too.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
My sort of week is around what I do up there, and then when I have time
Fit everything
left,
else
I do some
around
other things.
that's right.
That's
That's
marvelous.
right.
I think we're fortunate. We have a very nice center.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You could always use more room, no matter. You never have too much room, but it's a very nice center, laid out beautifully. And not everybody has a greenhouse and the nice grounds we have. And that room, the big room, is just for any big occasion that we have. It's just right.
That's right. That's
But
right.
it's laid out nicely with the staff at one end and all the other things at the other. And the big welcoming lobby.
Oh, I think
When
so.
people come in
I think
there,
so.
Beautiful
like a living room.
impression.
it's a
Yes,
nice
yes.
impression as you walk in.
Okay.
And we
When
have a
did you-
fireplace when it's cold. Excuse
That's
me,
right.
but
Oh,
we have
I
a
love the
fireplace when it's cold.
lit.
Yes.
When you walk in, it's so cozy.
We have volunteers who decorate for the holidays, especially Christmas.
Right.
We put a beautiful large tree up.
Right.
We have a big train set around it. That's done by volunteers.
Right. And on Tuesday afternoons, I play nice music. Peppy music, dance band music, or Tijuana brass. I had yesterday and Tuesday. That just in the afternoon when nothing else is going on, it gets rather quiet. And when people come in, you see them come in and they start dancing around with the music.
Oh, how nice.
So it's
How
fun.
nice.
You can do things like that too.
We're
Give you-
really in need of a book club coordinator if anybody's very
I know,
interested.
and you know, I feel guilty every time I hear that, but I sort of feel I don't want to get so involved at so many different
Exactly.
things that you know that you can't seem to do them right. My heart breaks not to say yes, I'll do that, but I've been holding off, hoping someone else might come.
You know what's
forward.
I shouldn't say interesting, an unusual volunteer position. Someone comes, the lunch room stops at 1. Somebody comes in and cleans everything. He volunteers to do the stove, to do the oven,
Oh,
to
nice.
clean up the whole kitchen as a volunteer.
Right. As a volunteer.
Yeah.
See?
And that's a
And it's a he, not a
tremendous
she.
help. Tremendous help.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming today and sharing your experience about
Thank
being
you.
a volunteer. And Susan, you're a wonderful person, I know.
We are
and
so
you're
pleased.
Great
So
things.
pleased to have Susan with us.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes.
Thank you.
So thank you, Susan,
Thank you.
Pat, and Carol. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So I
You're
hope
welcome.
that this gives you food for thought to think about. And I know that Susan's phone number, the Senior Center phone number, and maybe her extension will be put into the credits. And so please call and ask questions, okay? And it's going to be a long winter. And you don't want to stay home. Come on up and enjoy people. And I think that you'll be very happy that you did. So thank you for watching, and you have a good night.
This show often talks to people who have interesting hobbies or careers or different things that they have going on that affect our community.
I'm Mary Arnott, your host.
There is a huge need for providing food for individuals and family.
And that's the key. It's working well together.
You can see more episodes online at our website, hcam.tv.
Hi, I'm Tim Kilduff, and this is Business Matters.
I think we got to talk a little bit about the history. I mean, you were born into something pretty special, weren't you?
Yeah.
The shop is a safe haven for a lot of people, young and old.
Business Matters is HCAM's show focusing not only on businesses in Hopkinton, but more importantly, the people who run and manage those businesses.
Just a minute, folks.
It's Dive-In Drive-In time, and we got a great Western for you today.
Dive-In Drive-In is a new program featuring the HCAM staff's favorite B-movies. We hope you enjoy these treasured films of yesteryear.
Even if we don't get paid, there ain't no job we trade. We're hauling freight and take the thing along with Santa Fe.
So check out the HCAM TV website at hcam.tv for movie days and showtimes.
Hi, welcome to Great Gardens.
Just make sure that you water regularly and through November.
So I think we can go ahead and start backfilling here.
I think fall is one of the best times to plant roses.
When you can squeeze your soil and it holds together, that's good.
Welcome to Hopkinton Coffee Break.
A very special dessert done by a woman from Hopkinton that I've started using regularly.
We had your residents participating both as vendors and as shoppers, and that was so much fun.
Real Hopkinton Housewives, if you're on Facebook, you will have a blast. Thanks for joining us.